Hello and welcome to the Vanarama National League highlight show. A full roundup on the way at the end of another tumultuous week in the National League. Neil Ardley losing his job at Notts County. Neil Smith then following with his departure at Bromley. All the fallout, of course, from Dover's points deduction and heavy fine, and their points against opponents expunged from the National League table. Lots to discuss, of course, but we'll start our first roundup with second-placed Hartlepool at fourth-place Stockport. And Richard Henwood has all the details.
James Jennings was named in the Stockport lineup against Hartlepool at the end of a tough week for his family and the club. It's been confirmed his younger brother and teammate Connor is to miss the rest of the season after being diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. Connor was at this afternoon's match and saw James play a prominent part in the first half, with his corner almost leading to the opening goal. It finally arrived just a couple of minutes into the second half and it was scored by Hartlepool. Lewis Cass with the cross and the firm header from Gavin Holohan. Holohan's fourth league goal this season would be enough to extend his side's unbeaten run to 11 games, but not quite enough to win the match. Stockport earning a point with 12 minutes left thanks to Paddy Madden's volley. Honours even and plenty of support at Edgeley Park for Connor Jennings.
We are all 100% behind him. He's a great lad and he's amongst a great group of footballers here, you know, and as a club we are just with him.
Sutton have taken a grip on the title race thanks to a long unbeaten run which has been notable for some exceptional away form. But their pursuit of a sixth successive win on the road suffered an early setback as Kieran Green's shot was deflected into the path of Billy Chadwick. Halifax also have ambitions of a playoff place. They'd gone 6 games unbeaten before losing to Eastleigh last weekend, and they almost doubled their lead at the Shea with just under an hour played. Heroic defending from Kenny Davis enough to deny Danny Williams. But a second Halifax goal did arrive soon after. Niall Mayer found Jack Earing and he slid the ball past Dean Bouzanis. It was a 2-goal lead Halifax deserved, and it seemed to be enough to end the leaders' unbeaten run. But then a glimmer of hope as the ball was poked over the line by a combination of Isaac Olafe and Callum Keeley. Now Sutton sensed a valuable point was still possible, and with 5 minutes left, what may turn out to be a huge moment, as Craig Eastman's emphatic finish rescued a draw and added to the growing belief that Sutton are heading for the National League title. If back-to-back victories over Solihull and Kings Lynn were 2 steps forward in the title race for Torquay, this was to be 1 step back, as Angelo Belanta's late goal earned Dagenham all 3 points. It was tough to swallow for Gary Johnson's side. The defeat made even more frustrating when Benji Kimpioka's shot seemed to hit his own teammate on the goal line. It finished 1-0, a notable league double for Dagenham.
Grant Holtz alongside me. Great win, of course, for Dagenham, but when it's going against you, Torquay must be not enjoying, again, the long trip home, as it often is the case in recent weeks for them. But Sutton, let's start with the leaders. They've probably had a good day in the end, haven't they?
Yeah, really good day. We were panicking a little bit when we seen the scores coming in for them. Yeah, look, they're a different side this year. They're always there or thereabouts. I think at the moment they're in that mindset of they can see a game out, even though they're behind, they're good enough to come back, and that was it. Look, they won't be happy with the goals
conceded. No. Halifax are a difficult team, aren't they? When they fancy it and they're in form.
They are, but I said this one, a little bit of luck goes against you.
Yeah.
Great little pass this and great finish.
Lovely.
I thought the keeper could have stayed in his line a little bit, but he rushed out. But in the end, good finish. But good team just keep on going, Matt, and that's it. They got a little bit of luck back in with a set piece, and then this one obviously comes out. We won't talk about the defending with his header, but I'm going to give him a bit of great strike. Obviously, we know he's got that quality. We've seen him for a while now, and as I said, that's what good teams do. When you're top of the table, you just got to keep grinding out and see what it takes you. And Halifax is a tough place to go.
Yeah. Let's touch on some of the big news this week. Neil Ardley's departure at Notts County. They're still right in the mix, certainly for a playoff place. Were you a bit surprised? I was.
I think it's definitely one that raises the eyebrows. You look at him and think to yourself, look, we know how well he done last year. Obviously, unfortunately, missed out in the playoffs after obviously the tough time with COVID and stuff like that. And then this year they're in the mix again. And it was a strange one. I said it wasn't
40% win percentage. Yeah. Obviously, saw them through some really tough times with the takeover, COVID year.
I think the biggest thing was it was like as the door hit on the way out, the other guy was pushing it through.
Yeah,
so
Ian Birchnell.
we obviously knew it was coming. So He'll be disappointed. I said he'll be smiling today after obviously.
Well, yeah, I've knocked out of the FA Trophy by Hornchurch of the Isthmian Premier on penalties.
So he might have a little smile today.
Stage.
So, but I said it was surprising.
Yeah. And in terms of title contenders, I mean, Torquay are still in there. But today is an example of how when it starts to go, it goes wrong. Ben Winter, who's a reliable defender, he's trying to see a long ball out. He doesn't. Dagenham keep it alive, and Angelo Balanta, who's got the quality, punishes them.
Yeah, it's easy to see from here. But I think from the first bounce you can tell there's no way in the world. Once this bounces, Matt, he must realise there's no way in the world that is getting shepherded out.
Yeah.
And I said you can't do it at whatever level you're playing at. You've got to do it. Look, we know he's got this quality, and the one man when you've made a mistake you do not want to fall to is him, because he will punish you. And disappointing for them again.
Yeah, one apiece, Stockport and Hartlepool, something from both to take. But the important thing really is obviously, as we heard from Simon Rusk, the Stockport manager, that the club and certainly all of us very much in support and hoping there can be a happy outcome for Connor Jennings. Yeah,
absolutely. Obviously, when you hear the news of something like that, as I did, the circumstances surrounding it, falling down in training, getting an injury, and then they find that. So obviously, our all thoughts are with him, and fantastic guy, fantastic player, and hopefully he comes back nice and strong.
Yeah, we wish him absolutely all the best from myself, Grant, and everybody at BT Sport. Get well soon, Connor. So we mentioned Neil Ardley's departure at Notts County. Obviously, Neil Smith also departing. Bromley after, a decade at Hayes Lane. That was also a bit of a surprise in the last couple of days. Chris Ford then takes up the story with their trip to Wrexham.
Wrexham have been slow starters at home recently. Their last 9 goals at the racecourse ground, all coming in the second half. But against Bromley, they were quick out of the blocks. Jordan Davis flicked in a corner just after the half hour. Bromley, who had sacked their manager Neil Smith midweek, were 2 down before the break. This one had a little ooh-la-la about it. Tyler French with a clever ball in behind the Bromley defence, and Dior Angus with a designer finish to make things look very comfortable for Wrexham, who hadn't lost at home since the 1st of December. With one stylish strike to his name already, the man who joined from Barrow in January then added another. That was his 4th goal for Wrexham. They've all been scored in North Wales. A painful start to life after the departure of their boss for Bromley. Weymouth manager Brian Stock had highlighted his former player Tom Whelan as the Chesterfield danger man. It was a warning not heeded by his old teammates, who allowed him to get the only goal of the game as the Spyrites sealed a 3rd straight win. After 8 matches without victory, Kings Lynn were trying to restore some pride. But just a minute in, they were feeling the familiar pain of trailing. Jack Payne's first of the season caught out Theo Richardson to give Eastleigh the lead. That's the 2nd time this season they've scored in the opening 60 seconds. Dover's results being expunged had plunged Kings Lynn into the bottom 2. But with no relegation, the pressure was off. 5 minutes into the second half, they levelled things up. Michael Giassi on hand to pick up the pieces after Alex Kiwamia's shot was parried into his path. The Linnets had only won 1 of their last 9 home matches, but they were showing some fighting spirit. And 20 minutes after drawing level, they had the chance to take the lead when Simeon Jackson was dragged back in the box. The veteran forward took responsibility from 12 yards and scored his first goal for his 15th career club to turn the game around and secure the 3 points for Kings Lynn.
Not bad, those former Norwich strikers at Kings Lynn, are they?
The fast ones, yeah.
Not a great week to be a manager called Neil, though. We've talked about Neil Ardley. Neil Smith, certainly again, took me by surprise.
Yeah, another one where you don't expect it. But I said he's had a good few years. He's done really well with them. A club and a team we talk about every year, starting well, doing well, and they're there. But yeah, look, they're ambitious. They've seen how many times they've been close, and I think they wanted to get a change. But to me, he's done a fantastic job, and whoever goes in there, it's going to be a tough job to replace what he's done with that squad of players over the last few seasons.
Yeah, we wish him well. Hopefully see him back in the game soon. Understand the club may make an announcement on a replacement in the next couple of days, perhaps. Wrexham have obviously had the big takeover. They've certainly decided to stick with their former boss, now back for a second spell in Dean Keats. They look strong, don't they?
They found the feet. Yeah. We've talked about Wrexham. We never get that consistency, that level of performance. at the moment they're flying at home.
Goals like these help.
Yeah, they certainly help.
Dear Angus, great 2 belters.
Great bowling behind him, great technique, put it in the top corner, I said. And obviously the second one will have come up carbon copy in essence, but when your confidence up. But look, they're a club who are always threatening to be up there and belts, but they just need consistency, and it looks like they've gotten that now.
And just a word on our colleague and mate Chris Hargreaves. Reckon Chesterfield, dark horses for the playoffs. Well, they're in the playoffs now under James Rowe. Has he got a point?
Well, he does have a dark horse with a big squad and a good squad. That's what he loves to do.
Not so much of a dark horse as just what they should be doing.
They should be doing, yeah. Look, we've talked about them. They've got a great squad. The same thing. They're getting a few wins, getting a bit of consistency, getting a bit of confidence. The manager's got them moving around and playing really well. And of course they're going to be up there. We've thought that from the start of the season. So standard Chris going for a really easy one.
Of course, he'll change his mind. As probably will be, as may you, because that's the nature of this season. Next stop, 150 years. Maidenhead United have been here at York Road. They'll be here for another couple of years. They're on the way, though, to a new place. Could they get the better of the visitors? Altrincham here. This was the late game. It was live with us, and we'll have highlights when we come back. Welcome back to the National League highlights. Our next stop is right here at York Road. Maidenhead up against Altrincham. Two teams definitely still with a sniff of the playoff places. Maidenhead in particular with quite a few games to make up. Watching for us, the two Adams, Virgo and Somerson.
Smith again, signed from Mansfield in January. On a permanent basis. He'd initially joined the club on loan in November. Senior. Hardy looking to get on the turn. Oh, it's a lovely back heel. That would have been a brilliant goal. They still could yet score. And off the bar, that one. Now Smith. Maidenhead under real pressure here. And then the ball given away rather cheaply. And they backed off once more. And this time it sails over the bar.
Great little instinctive pass there from Hardy into Hancock's there, and all of a sudden Colclough there on the left-hand side just times it brilliantly. The technique was there for him to take the shots on first time, and they kept the second balls alive well. I don't think Maidenhead defended that too well.
Can he find a quality delivery? Not bad. Thompson came for it. Wasn't entirely convincing.
Yeah, one of those ones sometimes you're a goalkeeper, you may get a foul given against you.
They're under the cosh a little bit here. Maidenhead. Oh, it's gone all the way through. What a mistake at the near post. It's Colclough who can celebrate, and Altrincham take the lead here.
Well, you can do whatever you want in the game, but then if you defend like this, it's going to be really, really poor. And it's George Wells at the near post that gets it horribly, horribly wrong. Ashby Hammond, he's expecting his defender to clear it, and he doesn't. It's one of the worst corners you'll see from Ryan Colclough, but his side won't care about that.
Chance for Massey to get a ball into the box. Over the head of Blissett. Oh, the header is only fractionally wide. It was a good effort there. Upwards, doing his best to make a significant contact.
To see him making that run from the edge of the box, making the run deep, jumps early. Just unfortunately, either couldn't direct it towards Blissett or Orsi, or just maybe head it into that bottom corner area.
Coley. Appealing for offside, the flag has stayed down. Wells with the chance, perhaps again to cross. Stick out a decent ball there. Barrett's header, and the shot by Coley. And it fired in again, and a good stop by Thompson. Really clean contact that, wasn't it?
Altrincham were looking for the offsides. They're not offside there when the ball was struck. It's a good save there. You can just see Blissett following in.
Better though from Maidenhead. Surely they've got to score here, but they haven't. What a chance to finish it off.
Well, you make a decision when you get in these areas either to go towards goal and take your chance or square it straight away. Squares it now. Colclough there gets an easy chance. He does neither. I'm just saying passing. I agree with him.
Phil, how does that win to get you back-to-back win tonight?
Yeah, it feels great. Any win at this level feels fantastic. And as I said earlier on a day, I think we're a match for anyone. And if we can take our chances, hey, listen, that's what happens. So to keep a clean sheet away from home and take that chance, yeah, it felt really good.
Deb, what did you think of tonight's defeat?
Deserved, really. We were poor, very poor. I think it's the worst we've played now since the start of the season. No excuses for it, but we only started playing the last 10, 15, 20 minutes, and that ain't good enough. They were better than us all over the park today, so I've got no complaints. We were poor today, and we go on to the next one.
Any frustration at half-time, given you'd seen a lot of the ball and really created that chance except for hitting the crossbar?
I thought we had two. I thought we should have been 2 up. There was a moment in the first half, could have been goal of the season. For me, the build-up play is what we're all about. We absolutely opened them up, and not to finish it off was really frustrating. And it's been sort of indicative of how we've been in terms of creating them types of opportunities, like I said to you at the start. But yeah, first half I thought we were absolutely superb. Second half, hey, listen, they've really come at us, haven't they? And we had to weather that, and I felt we did that really well.
Well, pretty honest assessment, I think, from the two managers. Dev not happy. They weren't at it really here at Maidenhead. It was a strange way to win a game for Altrincham.
Yeah, very strange way. I think they were absolutely right. I think they both hit it perfect. That's exactly as we've seen it. But this, you can't allow this. Terrible corner by Colclough. Left back on the near stick, swings it with his right foot, and goalkeeper's just got a gamble, and it's just a poor goal because. All the Altrincham dominated the game. They didn't really create that much, apart from the first great bit of play in the first half. But to let that go in, it's just really, really disappointing.
Yeah, Maidenhead have got plenty of games in hand, but they need to shake off what's happened here if they're to be a playoff contender.
They need a run. They need a run. They've got enough games. They just need to run. They need to get a couple of threes. We know what it's like. If you get 3, 6, 9, and you're up there before you even know it. So that's what they've got to do. They've got to get a bit of consistency now.
And Alti, I mean, they only came up last season, but I suppose if this is the weird season it is, then why not?
It's a little bit one of them where no one ever expects them to do it. We know they've got a little bit about them. They came up, and now they're in there. You might as well have a right go. And as he said, his players know that he expects a level of performance, and they're thereabouts. Now it's up to them to take the mantle and go for it.
Yeah, they are, I think, only 4 off, but yes, they've played a number of games more. This will be part of the story of the end of the season, the discrepancy in the number of games teams have played. Some are going to have to play a lot, like Maidenhead are going to have to probably play Saturday, Tuesday till the end of the season now. Have they got the squad to cope with that? So Altrincham's points on the board are quite valuable.
Yeah, you'd rather have them. You'd rather have the points, especially now where it's not like a normal season where we're saying, look, you've got the points on the board and they've got games in hand, but you're going to Saturday, Tuesday, man. And in this league, the travelling is ridiculous as well. So
true.
It's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, and of course, if you then are good enough to get in, it's Saturday, Tuesday, and you're into the playoffs, and you've got another 2 or 3 games to play in a week and a half.
Yeah, but you don't mind if you're in that position because you just get on with it. It's the ones before that where you've got to get into that spot. That's the hardest thing for them to do, and especially it's rotating the squad. We've seen today he's lost 3 on international, and it was a big loss for them.
Yeah. OK, 2 more games to round up for you from the afternoon's fixtures, starting with another club looking for a long-term manager. That, of course, is Barnet. They made the long trip to Yeovil.
It's been a long, hard 9 months for Barnet since they beat Yeovil in the playoffs, and they were soon backpedalling at Hewish Park. A slick build-up given the finish it deserved by Tom Knowles just 10 minutes in. Yeovil's hopes of extending their season had been hurt by a run of just 1 victory in 6, but they'd won 4-1 in North London less than a month ago, and Knowles and Ruben Reid soon teed up Charlie Lee for number 2. Barnet had conceded twice in each of the last 4 games, but the Glovers weren't prepared to stop there, and every goal was a little better than the last. Josh Nerfill allowed to run and run before a quality strike just past the half hour. Job done for Yeovil, but they did allow Barnet a second-half consolation. Themis Kefalas bundling home his first goal on loan from QPR, but it's now 1 win in 24 games for the beleaguered Bees. A very welcome home outing for Solihull Moors after 3 straight defeats on the road, and they took the lead when Jimmy Ball's pass and some dozy Aldershot defending helped Cameron Archer to his 3rd of the season. These two had met twice in 2021 already in the league and FA Trophy. It stood at 1 win apiece with plenty of goals. From another ball, Archer might have extended the Moors' lead. Aldershot had failed to score in 3 of their 4 previous away games, but their chances improved when Mitch Hancock brought down Joel Nublet to pick up his 2nd red card in 4 games. If that challenge was off camera, the incident that reduced the home side to 9 men late on was off the ball. Ball given his marching orders, but the shot-shy shots still couldn't land a blow.
Wow, that is, to get not 1 but 2 red cards and still come out victorious. Solihull will be delighted with that. Mark Yates in caretaker charge, but I would think Danny Still will be fuming, the Aldershot boss.
Oh, I'd be absolutely fuming. Absolutely fuming. Oh, terrible. I didn't know to wow more at the red cards or wow more at the defender, to be honest with you, Matt. It was pretty poor. The first one was just absolutely kicked in for no reason. And the second one, you can't do. You're down to 10, and then all of a sudden you do that off the ball. So, yeah, disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mitch Hancock's, I think he was despondent, but that's because he's been sent off twice in 4 games.
Yeah, he'll have a few games to miss now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's not playing Saturday, Tuesday. He's not playing for a while. Yeovil, I think we've talked a lot about managers coming and going in this division. And I know we'll bang on about it, and every club's different, but they've stuck with Darren Sarll, and you're paying the dividend now because they look good, Yeovil.
They do. We've seen them a while ago against Stockport, and they were talking about he's had a little turn and a little run, then he had a dip again. You've got to stick with him. He's getting the best out of that squad. I said, look, Barnet they've gone backwards, and no manager going through managers, can't. But the defending for all these goals, they've got to do something. You can't just let them walk in and have shots from the edge of the box, and they're in a real bad place, Barnet, at the moment for me.
Well, they are extremely fortunate, really, in the scheme of things, that there will be no relegation this season, because they would be absolute certainties. I think it's one win in 24 matches.
Yeah, and it looks like it. It looks like they're looking at it thinking, well, yeah, going down, so it doesn't really matter, but it does. Like, have a bit of, some of the goals are terrible. I said, but Yeovil, they keep on going.
Yeah, we don't quite know exactly how it'll all come to fruition with Dover. Obviously, they are now effectively on 0 points. They'll start next season if they're in the National League. At the moment, they will be, with a 12-point deduction, heavy fine. Jim Parmenter says, I'm not paying the fine, I'm going to seek legal counsel. He's the Dover chairman. It's got a bit of road to run, this.
It has, yeah. I think it's got a lot of legs. Yes, understandably, they're not happy. Understandably, they're not happy with the fine. They're not happy about the points. They're saying they can't play the games. They didn't have enough, and they've got no money. I said, we don't know the ins and outs. That'll be for the National League and them to know. Disappointing for the teams that took the points. As I said, we talked about Altrincham today. They've gone in expecting to be 3 points better off, and they're not. So there's a lot of things that's going to happen amongst it, because as I said, that Dover, I think, is Hartlepool. They're supposed to be playing last game of the season. Would that have affected it? We just don't know. As I said, it's a strange one. I could see both sides of the arguments, and I'm not going to be the brave man to give it.
We'll let the lawyers, as ever, they'll be the ones that win out of this. Certainly at the moment, Dover with axes to grind, it seems. From the bottom to the top, then of course Dover at the bottom with now no points, with all those points expunged, and Barnet and Kings Lynn make up a bottom 3. For what that's worth, it matters not that much, I suppose, in the scheme of things, given that there will be no relegation this season. That's the bottom half for you. Maidenhead in that bottom half, but with lots of games in hand still. And as we climb higher, obviously Sutton lead the way from Hartlepool and Torquay. They've been perhaps the big 3, certainly in recent weeks, but you can now see the gathering masses behind them, the big clubs, the big names of Stockport, Wrexham, Notts County, Chesterfield, the big names in this division, all very much in contention, certainly for a playoff place. Thanks for your company. Thank you very much, of course, to Mr. Holt, as always. It's chilly, so we'll get off. See you soon.